Saturday, August the 19th, 2023, and almost 14 years to the day, I finally managed to get back into Essex to re-walk this approximate 10 miler in around Wivenhoe and the accompanying village of Rowhedge. Now this walk is a very difficult one to coordinate because it involves a ferry which only runs at the weekend between April and October, I think it is, and certain bank holidays, and even then is subject to the weather. So you've got to contend with that, the trains and the weather, to get everything into alignment, and the only one I haven't been able to align today is the wind, as per usual. And today it's quite strong, coming from the southwest, so it may interfere with commentary. But let's give it a bash, because as I say, this walk, which was filmed on my mobile back in 2009, the 6th of September, is massively in need of an update. One of the few remaining now, apart from several in the Chilterns, which I'm avoiding altogether until HS2 is completed, simply because of the logistics, transport, HS2 ruining paths, etc, etc. So as I say, it's pretty warm today. Going to get some temperatures around 23, 25 later. Bit of cloud around though, but there shouldn't be any rain. It's just the wind that I'm going to have to contend with, because we've got pretty low height range today, between -5 feet and 95, so it's going to be pretty breezy. I've checked there's a rifle range on this walk as well, and even that is closed today, so no problem with the military. It's around about what is the time? Yes, around about 12:30, and I'm aiming to do the Rowhedge section first, because the ferry starts at 1 o'clock, and thereafter take my lunch at Fingrinhoe, or Fingrinhoe I think it is. Passing St Mary's. So here we are while I'm waiting for the ferry. Pretty busy quayside here at Wivenhoe, but as you can see, a pretty decent day, save the wind. This is the Rose and Crown, possible early lunch stop or tea stop, and our vessel awaits down there at the end of this gangplank, little rubber dinghy kind of thing that the people from France are using these days. Looking inland up the River Colne, which passes through Colchester, and as you can see, lots of new housing, probably which wasn't there 14 years ago.
Probably won't work over here because I don't have Wi-Fi.
So here we are over on the Rowhedge bank. Just passing the Anchor, a Shepherd Neame pub, another possible early lunchtime stop or tea time stop when you finish this section. I'm obviously aiming for a church, and there is only one on this walk today, so I'm doing the walk in a clockwise direction in the hope that I can get to Fingrinhoe church fairly shortly and get on with my lunch. So here we are, just leaving the Rowhedge bank. Let's press on, then passing the old Albion, another possible lunchtime stop stroke tea time stop. Lots of new quayside houses have popped up since I was last here, I'm sure. I didn't preview my old video before doing this walk today, but pretty sure these weren't here, which was incidentally done on the mobile phone. Don't think I said that this is a book 1 walk, walk number 30, and was one of the earliest ones that I did from memory. So you can see there's an option of paths here through that new housing estate, which obviously I'm not going to take, or left along the quay, which I am, looking across at Wivenhoe with its church that I filmed earlier briefly. And this new housing estate, and it's certainly the big one, is in an area known as East Droyland. Well, I got that wrong. It's East Donyland, D-O-N-Y. Now I can't see clearly at the moment, but they look like giant egrets. And there you can hear the old oyster catcher. As we move away from the housing into more rural surroundings. Got a couple of options here. You could either cut through the wood or follow the GPX track, as I'm going to do, around the edge of it. Gets you to the same place. Yeah. This is the John Brunning Walk, going through a nature conservation scheme area. Various birds here, as you can see: red shank, lapwing, shell duck, kestrels, and as we've seen, giant egrets, which are relative newcomers to this country and not as commonplace as the little egret. And the cattle egret's even scarcer still. Have seen those down in Norfolk. Section of path here designed for midgets really. Anybody over 4 foot is going to have to bend. I think they're Canadas. This is generally quite a tight path, particularly at this time of year with vegetation, but it is just about passable. Classic clapperboard property of the area as we approach Fingrinhoe. Another view back to Wivenhoe from outside the frontage of Roman River House, which is the clapperboard property I referred to a moment ago. And Roman River House there was a former mill per the map. It's got all the hallmarks of one as well. Here we are, Fingrinhoe Church, dedicated to St Andrew. Lovely flint based church. Also known as St Quen, as you can research on Google. I can hear people inside, so I won't go in. Sounds like they're practicing something in there. A couple of old seats around the back here, one dedicated to Robert Knott and another to William Dixon by the looks of it. I'm going to use this one dedicated to Caroline Mary Clark, who died in 2018. Need to get my skates on though, because it's coming up 2 o'clock already. She lived 45 and 18 is 63, so not particularly long innings. 2:15, lunch has been had. Should better get back to the ferry before 4. Let's see. Yeah, lovely place. Shame there were people in it though, otherwise I'd have gone in and filmed inside. Wonderful, I've been allowed in. Amazing ceiling. Even more so the section to my right. It's like some kind of, well, I'll ask, find out what it is. Not going to guess. Wonderful screen. And leaded window. Chestnut and oak are these beams. Very tough wood combination, by all accounts. Poor guy that let me in's lost his keys. Couldn't help him any. Passing the Whalebone pub. Another possible lunchtime stop. Cracking view from the garden by the looks of it. Bit of road walking here. Or maybe not. There's a footpath beside the road behind the hedge. Another Dixon. Obviously a local family, just shy of 100, 91. Then that footpath I've just come from brings you to the village sign. Connections with the Paras in nearby Colchester. Sense of humour here as well. And a memorial here, an anvil. Yeah, very interesting. Sad to see an artisan trade die off. As I said, this is military land that we're now entering. No red flags up though. Luckily, another one of the alignments I had to get right today. Reminders of the recent overnight rainfall, storms last night. Decent vista over on the right. As we continue on down this lane past some farms. Now walking down Hay Lane towards the busier Mersea road, so fingers crossed there's a pavement on it. Crossing over the Roman River again, what there is of it here. It's a stream really, and there is just about some kind of verge path here that's been worn over time to a parking bay ahead. So there we go, following a bridle way into the military shooting range. And as you can see, no risk today, although, which is rather worrying, means there's an element of risk, which is not what I read on the government website. Fingers crossed then. These are Donnelland Woods on the map, and from previous experience of walking across the military lands, you tend to find, despite the racket when bullets are being fired, that wildlife seems to like it, because generally it's wild, unkempt, unmaintained, and the sort of thing they like. But I'm not quite sure what the wildlife does when the bullets are flying. Clears off, no doubt. But already today I'm hearing bird song that I haven't heard prior on today's walk. In fact, it's been pretty quiet apart from the great egrets. This is Donyland Heath per the map now. All quiet again, bird song wise. Passing by a large fishing lake on my left down below. Swans and geese on there. And that might be military as well, garrison fishery. Coming out of the woodland, now walking alongside this playing field, nearly back in Rowhedge. So there's a very nice memorial. Here are the said lime trees, I believe. Now entering the churchyard of St Lawrence Church. With these gates of Thanksgiving. God rest their souls. An unusual church, which seems to be almost octagonal in shape. I didn't count the number of edges, but it certainly is at least octagonal. Google that one if you're interested. Rowhedge Church. Can't get a decent picture of it because of the lime trees around it, but this will give you some better idea. Very unusual. Here we are, back at the ferry jetty, and the little tea room next door is open as well. Cracking afternoon now. So that's part one of the walk done, which is the Rowhedge Circular. The Wivenhoe one remains. So it's 3:30, done about 4.5 miles already, and the remaining Wivenhoe Circular is about the same distance. So it's looking like it's going to be a late one tonight, but no worries, well worthwhile in weather like this. So now on the Wivenhoe side of the walk, passing the Nottage Maritime Museum. Google that for more information, but there's the basics. That's pretty much next door to the Rose and Crown that I filmed earlier, which is even busier now. Passing through the former Cook's Shipyard residential development, which certainly wasn't here previously. I don't even think it was thought of 14 years back. Bit of the old nostalgia here from Cook's Shipyard. And an information panel. So as usual, Google that for more information. Passing the River Colne barrier flood control. Which was designed to protect this area for the next 1,000 years. But I can't see that happening. Not with sea levels rising as they are. Let's see. Passing Wivenhoe Sailing Club, And this bit I do remember, funnily enough. I remember the oak trees on the riverbank. It's very similar to many Essex estuaries, but I do recall this. As we now enter Wivenhoe Colne Estuary Special Protection Area, Essex Estuaries Special Area of Conservation. Google that if you're interested for more. Yeah, I do remember the risk of cattle in here previously, hence the gate. Yeah, I do recall that sand extraction workings on the opposite bank. Wonderful estuarine views here. And the embankment of a former rail line there on my left. Also remember that. We'll be walking on some of that soon, I recall. Views back to Wivenhoe. The tide is well out at the moment, hence the final couple of crossings by the ferry that I've just left behind me. As you can see, the tide is really out now. We go into tree cover soon, if I recall correctly. Those oaks I mentioned. Well, actually, I stand corrected. The tide may well be turning on the way in now. Yeah, lovely section this is. These oaks on my left, nice wooded section. Smell of salty estuary on my right, just over this the other side of this hedgerow here. Fantastic. What a glorious afternoon as well. Wind's not so much an issue in here either. Down there a fence post from the former rail line, which I believe I'm very close to now. Yeah, in fact, upon checking the map, and these concrete posts confirm it, this is the old rail line that I'm stood on or following currently. Always hate to see their demise when you think about the hard labour that went into making them. Views back to Wivenhoe. And a noisy boat party out there. I can hear their music from here. I wonder if that's the river police keeping an eye on that noisy vessel ahead of them. Anyway, a couple of options here. You've got a kind of lower path closer to the estuary, but I'm going to follow the official upper path here. Wonderful views back towards Wivenhoe. Really lucky with the weather this afternoon. I hope the wind's not causing too much of an issue. Insulated it as well as I could. So you've got sandworks over there, and the old remains of a pulley system down to the estuary, which we'll see shortly. Yeah, would have taken the sand down presumably to waiting vessels for onward transportation. Probably done by road today, don't know. Alright, what's going on that far bank? See fire, smoke. Very dangerous in this windy weather. So leaving Alresford Creek behind us now, we do a left and turn inland as the sun goes behind a cloud. Breeze picks up. Passing the sand extraction works with the Colne in the background there. Don't recall these being here last time I did this walk. Now take this private road to Creek Lodge and Alresford Lodge, next to a cottage called Broomlands apparently, though I don't see any name anymore. Yeah, I'll take that back. Now following a sandy bridleway alongside the quarry. Deep water down there on my right hand side, likely former quarry workings I'd imagine. So passing the entrance to Alresford Grange and continuing on. Looking over the Colne, and likely the path I was on, the lower path earlier, as the wind is definitely picking up now. See, from up here you can see how much Wivenhoe has expanded by the new rooftops. So you walk alongside a quite busy road there for a couple of 100 yards, and join this public footpath, heading back down towards the Colne. And this path at the moment is another pleasant tree lined or tree belt. And here's the old railway fence posts again as we climb the former embankment and cross over the old line. And as you can see now, what, 70 years on, I guess, maybe more, since it last worked. Trees have taken it over. Decent view across the estuary here though. I'm now opposite the old sand workings, as you can see. Or the current sand workings, because they are still working. And that's the old rail line going into Wivenhoe, what's left of it, trees. This path takes us to the one that I came out of Wivenhoe on, so a bit of duplication ahead, which I won't film much of, if any. And so at this juncture we join the path that I was on earlier, leading out of Wivenhoe. Having just walked across here. Wonderful. And so back past the sailing club and into Wivenhoe. What a cracking afternoon, eh? Passing Wivenhoe Church on a different angle to earlier today, and as you can see there's an extension to this side, and those rare little birds again called starlings, which used to be so commonplace. They found a home up there. All in song, wonderful. So here we are, just under 10 miles, 3.5 hours later. Wonderful walk that was, full of variety. Weather held out, turned out really good late on. Wind was still a bit strong, but hopefully that won't come across on commentary. I've got my fingers crossed. Not too badly anyway. So yeah, book 1, walk 30. Wivenhoe Circular, re-walked after 14 years. Cannot believe it. Thank the Lord I'm still here, just about in one bit, just about able to complete the walks. So I doubt I'll be here in another 14 years, but let's see. What a wonderful afternoon. I think I've just missed a steam train going through this station, because as I was approaching it I heard that kind of steam train whistle, So that's annoying. I was almost at the station and could have got that on camera as well, but hey ho. Main thing is that walk was as full of variety. Paths were very good today, but you could see how they may be affected by heavy rainfall. And the area has changed quite a bit. You can see all the new developments popping up, as is the case along a lot of the Essex coastline now. But still a good walk, highly recommended in fact. So till the next time, which may or may not be next week, I'm not sure. Don't know if I'll have time to squeeze one in next week, because I'll be down in Norfolk at the Big Who concert. Not that I'm particularly a fan, but was offered a ticket. I won't be filming a walk down there, albeit that I will be doing one. So let's see how it all turns out. Till the next time anyway.